In a rapidly changing world, people wonder more and more about where their food comes from and how it was grown. The farmers who grow America's corn understand how important this is and want to share the stories from our farms of how we are working to grow an incredible crop that can be an answer to sustainability questions and is grown by men and women who value the air, water, soil, and our natural resources just like you. To find out more about how corn farmers are working to feed and fuel a vibrant economy and healthy planet, visit ncga.com. NCGA, a commitment to the future.
It's a new day, and it's coming at you fast. With Comcast Business, you'll have what you need to take on every twist and turn, like the flexibility to control multiple Wi-Fi networks from anywhere, a cybersecurity solution to help protect all your connected devices, and the power of the nation's largest gig-speed network, all supported by a dedicated team available 24/7. Every day in business is a big day. Comcast Business will keep you ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland and this is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. So today I'm going to go old school. Old school. Now, I don't know if you remember, we're going back a while, but I used to read stuff. I don't know, like I'd get a second-hand book or I'd buy a book or something, and it has some funny facts or some information that I'd read out stuff, and I can't remember what they were. I mean, sometimes I'd read out of magazines, but I'd read stuff out of the dictionary and just basically boring things. And last Wednesday, I went to the local market. I went to the local market. Don't worry, I'm not drinking alcohol. Trust me, you'd know if I was drinking alcohol because I'd be saying some strange things. Gas is weird, isn't it? Anyway, this market is basically a boot sale where people sell stuff. They sell a bunch of rubbish. Not all of them. Some of them they're doing it for a business. But some of the stuff. I saw someone. I think they were trying to sell a fork. A garden fork that had one of its forks missing. Like, why are you trying to? And there's like a rusty handle. Like, really? Come on. Who is going to buy one of those? Who? Come on, tell me. No, don't miss about. Come on, just tell me who. And also, they're a little bit. I like upfront people, sort of, how much is it? They're £1 each. The books are £1 each. But when they say, oh, which one do you want? And they'll say, oh, that's £2.50. They make it up as they go along. Just charge the same amount for all the books. I've got an issue with people that sell stuff. Anyway, I bought this book. I think it was £1.50 or £2. It's called Ripley's Believe It or Not, 2014. It's just full of pointless information. And let's face it, that's the best kind, isn't it? It's the bestest kind of information ever. Stuff that it's going to make no difference to your life at all. But it is boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it. See if there's anything. Cause I've not read any of it yet. If not, well, I don't want to read any of it unless I actually I'm going to use it. It's not something I want to spend my own time. It's your own time you're wasting. Okay, so I think... I don't know if you ever heard of the Ripley book of whatever. I've not heard of it before. But it's an American book. It's an American... I think he's an American. It's got a little introduction about him. So I think he might be famous in America, but... Okay, they tracked a wolf boy. It's got here, we tracked down Chai, who has hypertrichosis, a condition that causes excess hair on his face. He once shaved, and he didn't like it. Okay, told you about that. See, just little bits like that. Just, Pegman. We flew Kelvin Mercado from Puerto Rico to Ripley's Florida HQ after he sent us photos of 160 pegs attached to his face. He said he could attach more, and we took a picture to prove he was right. It's just a picture of him. Why? 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 Oh, wow, I can't believe this one. Body Art King. King Body Art, this is his name, has tattoos that cover 90% of his body. Our researchers made contact, but the photo shoot had to be postponed until the swelling from his new eyeball tattoo had calmed down. Ugh. Ugh. So these is kind of believe it or not. That's kind of what it's around about this whole thing. Okay. Aquarium. A piranha has teeth like razors and a bite force equivalent to 30 times its body weight. Okay, well, it's not. So, a jellyfish is 90% water and has no brain. A jellyfish has no brain. So now we know where the human race evolved from. Jellyfish. Sand tiger shark. Okay, this shark has a full mouth of teeth that protrude in all directions, even when its mouth is shut. I've met a few people like that. Stingray. Here's a stingray. The barb on a stingray's tail spine, a stingray's tail spine, measures 14 inches and is so sharp that it can, well, we know about the stingray because of, what's his name from Australia, the Crocodile Dundee bloke, crocodile wrestler. The Werewolf Sisters. Yeah, let's move on from that. The Werewolf Sisters, only slightly hairier than the rest of the population. Let's have a look. Distant Twins. Okay. Now, that's an interesting title. Reuben and Florin Blake of Gloucestershire, England, are twins, but they were born 5 years apart. They were conceived from the same batch of embryos during fertility treatment, but after the birth of Reuben in 2006, the remaining 3 embryos were frozen until his parents, Simon and Jodie Blake, were ready to try for another child. Ah. Wow. Here's one. It sounds unbelievable. This is beach bottle. On the Baltic Sea coast near Kaliningrad, Daniel Korothik, a 13-year-old Russian boy, found a message in a bottle that had been written 24 years earlier by a then 5-year-old German boy, Frank Usabek. Oh, right. I thought it was going to be more interested than that. I thought it was going to be he found a message in a bottle that he sent 25 years ago. But no. Here's one. Tidy Sum. Nagged for weeks by his mother, surely not, to tidy up his bedroom, 19-year-old Ryan of Midlothian, Scotland, finally gave in to her wishes. And in a pile of papers in a drawer, found £53,000 winning lottery ticket. And that'd be quite a good afternoon, wouldn't it? Would you tell your mum, though? You know, because she's probably whoever, if it's a boy, 19-year-old Ryan, yeah, he probably wasn't liking his mum at that point in the day, you know, probably a bit, she wasn't his favourite person, probably. Then he finds that money. Would he tell her? Oh, it is funny. This is good. A man was charged with stealing a book on ethics from the University of Louisville, Kentucky, and then trying to sell it to a college bookshop in the city. Ooh, a book on ethics, that's brilliant. Harris, hair creams. Okay, I'm just trying to read this as I talk. Scientists in South Korea have developed robot guards to patrol the country's prisons. The 5-foot-tall robots run on 4 wheels and are fitted with sensors, which enable them to detect abnormal behaviour among prisoners and then report it to the officers in charge. So basically, robot grasses, that would be called in the UK of England. You're grass. You're a grass. Brazilian Batman. Oh, in 2012, city officials in Taubaté, Brazil, hired former soldier Andre Luiz Pinheiro to dress up as Batman and patrol the streets of the most crime-ridden neighbourhoods. Okay. Just having a look. Designer Kazuhiro Watanabe from Tokyo, Japan, has a spike-like mohawk haircut that is an incredible 3 foot 8 inches high. There's a picture of him. The hat has to be really takes up the whole picture. There's a little pop out of the top because it's too long. There isn't. And he's been growing it for more than 15 years, and it takes stylists 2 hours plus 3 cans of hairspray and a large bottle of gel to extend it to its maximum height. Why? I mean, I could, for a bit of fun, yeah, but to vote, you know, to spend that much time sitting in a chair, having people do it for you to make your hair, no. Let's have a look. Okay. Unbeatable robot. Scientists at the University of Tokyo, Japan, have devised a robot that is unbeatable at the game of rock, paper, scissors by using advanced motion sensor technology. The robot needs just a millisecond to recognize the position and shape of a human hand and can therefore detect in advance what hand shape its opponent is about to choose. Wow. There's a picture of a man called James Morris, a sideshow performer. He could stretch his skin 18 inches away from his body. Wow. Basically, what it looks like is he's lost a huge amount of weight way too quickly. And the skin just can't, the skin's just there, just flapping. Like a big flappy flap. Potty iodine. What? Wow. Oh, I can't be bothered on board now. But yeah, that's some of the stories. Perhaps I need to look through it first before I start reading it. Then I can find the stories rather than try and find them whilst I'm actually talking to you. You know what I mean? So, I made a couple of recordings today, or one last night, one today, or one early hours in the morning. I lose track, but I did a deep sleep whisper, and a couple of hours ago I did a relax and sleep hypnosis daily. It almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about. I like it when that happens. It's very rare. But sometimes I make a recording and I think, where's this coming from? I actually sound almost professional. Wow. I do like it when that happens. It feels yummy, It feels really yummy. I love it. Love the feeling. Want it all the time. Yeah. So I've not done much. Been sleeping a lot. The last week or so. And I keep going online just to see what's available, Just not, I can't really afford to go anywhere, but I'm just looking to see what last minute deals there are to get away. And somewhere I was thinking of, somewhere like Norway, I just thought, okay, let's have a look at Norway, because I've got, I don't know why, I've got a little bit of a voice in my head sort of saying, go to Norway. Norway is the perfect place to be. And I don't know why. I don't know why, honestly, but it's like it's an amazing place to be, an amazing place to live. And I don't know why. I don't know why I got that in my head, but it seems to be there. And I think it might be because I like the accent. I do. I like the Norwegian accent. Just something. I think it's probably because I've been watching quite a few Netflix TV shows that are from Norway. Well, a couple at least. And I just like the accent. It's just, I don't know, just, it's nice. It's a nice, it's kind of, it sounds friendly. And you might think, well, how can an accent sound friendly? Well, there are accents that don't sound very friendly. Some accents sound angry. I'm not gonna point out which ones they are. No, let me tell ye. I'm not gonna say which ones they are, but there are quite scary sounding accents. And then there's some that don't sound as if they've got any emotion at all. Like really kind of almost robotic sometimes. Which ones are those, Jason? Or are you just making it up again? Yeah, I kind of am. Yeah, I am a little bit making everything up. All the time. I'm considering doing some hypnosis training in London, which would start in July. It's a college, a hypnotherapy college. And the way I see it, I mean, you say, well, would you want to study that? You already studied it. You've already trained. Yeah, but it's not, for me, it's not about, I mean, I've never pretended to be an expert ever. No one can ever pull me up on that. I've never pretended to be an expert in anything. I would say I probably know more about hypnosis than perhaps I do about other things. You know, about how I only focusing on myself there. I suppose I know a fair bit about counselling, having done a degree in it. I know a fair bit about podcasting, I suppose, and the internet and how to use laptops and stuff like that. Although I've still got quite a lot of learning when it comes to editing and that stuff, which I will do. I'm gonna do it. I'm determined. I know a fair bit about films as well. I'm still a bit of a film buff. I watch quite a few films every week, so I'm a bit of a film buff. I'm not sort of boxing. Definitely, I would say I know a fair bit about boxing, especially like modern day boxers as well, not just like stuck in the past like some people. Like, you know, if it happened after 1989, they don't want to know about it. Nope, all the best boxers, 70s and 80s. What about the ones in the 90s? Nope, they weren't any good. Only the ones in the 70s and the 80s. They were the only good boxers. No one could match them. Are you sure? Yep, no one can match them. It's like people that say, oh, there's never been a good song created or written after 1979. What are you talking about? No. Everything's crap. After 79, everything's crap. It's so silly. Did you not hear yourself? That's a really silly Billy thing to say. Nope. All the comedy shows, they're no good. Nothing after 1980. The 80s, 70s and 80s, that was the best. After about 1988, no more comedy. Don't like any of the comedy. All that new age fangled stuff. The stuff that was new age and fangled at the late 80s, but 30 years on, not so new and aged. Don't like that new age fangled comedy. If it ain't racist and sexist, I don't want to know. Okay, fair enough. Dear, oh dear. I've never got my head around that. How some people, sniff. Some people can be so closed off to, in that way. Won't listen to any music after, the 70s decade finished or the 80s. Won't listen to anything because everything's rubbish. But it's not. It's really not. I mean, honestly, listen. I understand that there's a lot of music that is perhaps unpalatable, and there is for me as well. And I listen to the chart show. I trying to keep myself relevant, man. Now I want to keep up to date a little bit, and I'm not up to date with the music. But I was listening to the top 10 earlier on the radio, and I didn't particularly like any of the songs. I'll be honest. It was very similar to stuff that I'd heard before, and I could hear how one of the singers, she was copying another singer. Literally, even the style, it's like, okay, but that's up to her. There's probably no different between all the bands that wanted to be like the Beatles. They influence each other. Like Madonna came along, and you could say, well, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, they were kind of similar in a way. Sort of girls just want to have fun, like a virgin, touched for the very first time. And, it's the country and western songs, the country and western singers. A lot of them have very similar singing styles. Yeah, I said it. It's true. But if you move on from that, they sound different. They've got different tones. They've got different personalities. They're singing different things. And I don't know, just the idea like, oh, you can't listen to that because it's after, it's after 1983. I don't want this, nothing after 83. No. I don't understand. And I've heard people say it over the years many times. Don't listen to anything that's after the 60s. The 60s music was the best. I imagine the 60s music was probably the most exciting. I'm guessing, because in the 60s, the kids were brought up living very, in Western society, very, what's the right word? Conservative ways. And they didn't have music. I mean, rock and roll, of course, wasn't started by Elvis or the Beatles. It was Bill Haley, wasn't it? And the Comets, they were classed as the starters of rock and roll. You're going to shake, rattle and roll. We're going to shake, rattle and roll. We're going to shake. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. We're going to rock around the clock tonight. So they were like in their 70s when they were doing that. They were old men. And before that, the people that were successful, the people that were in the charts, was people Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and the crooners and all that stuff, and that was what was liked. And then there was a whole almost musical revolution, and we haven't, or I say we, but people that were born after that period haven't really had a musical revolution, not in the same way. I mean, you could say, well, about rap, that was a musical revolution. Hip hop. Then you got acid house music. The 80s, the whole synth musical stuff, and I guess punk in the 70s. So yeah, okay, but that was like a trend, and it would have been exciting as well. But imagine coming from, you can imagine going from the Rolling Stones to punk. Rolling Stones were rebels, or various rock bands in the 60s. Some of them were rebels, proper rebels. And then, you had punk, and they were rebels, but they were just unattractive. They made themselves look unattractive because that was what they wanted. They were. They weren't making themselves look good, were they? It was supposed to be making themselves look as ugly as possible, because it was rebellion, wasn't it, against society? But it wasn't that crazy. It wasn't that much of a move compared to Frank Sinatra, to Elvis Presley. I mean, that was a big jump. Although a lot of Elvis Presley stuff was crooning. But, Frank Sinatra, those little town blues. And then Elvis going, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, rocking all the time, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Like, that's alright, mama, that's alright, you, that's alright, mama, go any way you do, that's right. It's like, okay, that's a little bit different, slightly different. And then suddenly all these bands out of nowhere just popped up. All these singers. And then the Beatles arrived. When did the Beatles arrive? About 62, 63? Elvis was 57. So 5-6 years later, because John Lennon wanted to be Elvis Presley. He did. That's who he wanted. He didn't want to. He didn't. When he was young, he didn't want to be stopping wars or marrying, or doing what he did. He wanted to be Elvis Presley. But then I imagine most boys wanted to be Elvis Presley. And most girls wanted to be inside him. No, not inside him. You know what I mean? Wanted to be with him. Wanted to kiss him, I guess. I don't know, whatever girls and boys do. Wanted to kiss him. Kissy, kissy, kiss, kiss. And here's the weird thing. Even though loads of stuff's come out about Elvis and what he used to get up to with some of the females, never really got much trouble over it, did he? He was never taken to court. Interesting. Interesting that, isn't it? So I'm a big, huge Elvis fan. What I noticed about Elvis, though, is he didn't get to... No, I'm just talking from my own perspective of what I've noticed from film footage and from recordings and stuff. He didn't get to develop his own personality because he didn't have to. In a sense of, as soon as he was, was he a teenager, wasn't he? Was he 18, 19 when he signed up as a record, for his first record? Suddenly, he was a kid. He was a teenager. And he had everything literally available to him. Everything. He aimed towards food and burgers rather than the women, I think. Well, that was the secret, how to get Elvis's attention. A lot of the girls, you had to have a lot of flesh on show, but the clever girls that really wanted attention, they'd always have like a burger in their hand, and Elvis would go over to them. Hey, you want a bit of a burger? Yeah. Hey, honey. That's my Elvis. Hey, give me a bit of burger. I'd like to give you a little burger. And I like the way you look at me with that burger in your hand. Won't you come on over here with that burger in your hand? There's nothing I'd rather do than eat that burger in your hand. So yeah, I don't think he got to develop who he was as a person because he never got to really be himself. He had to be this superstar. The most famous singer in the world. He had to do that. He had to just... I don't know, and he's around people, yes men, yes women, yes Elvis. And I've seen him, and he's like tells a joke, and they're all laughing, but it wasn't a funny joke. And even he'd tell another joke, and then they wouldn't laugh because even though they were yes men, even they could. And he was just. He didn't get to develop his own personality. And I'm talking from being a big fan of Elvis. I love a bit of Elvis pie. I do. But he didn't get a chance to, just like Michael Jackson, didn't get a chance to be normal. I mean, Michael Jackson, less so. From the age of, 7 years old, he was touring the world singing. I mean, how the hell was he, He had no chance of couldn't live a normal life. And his attempts at plastic surgery in order to sort of make himself look different backfired, didn't it? Because no longer was he unrecognisable. He was just like, how could you not notice him? Apparently his nose used to fall off when he sneezed. I don't know if it's true. Oh God, nearly said something really bad there. It got stuck somewhere and then I realised, nope. No, I can't say that. Oh. It needed to be removed by a doctor. Nope. Oh dear. No. No. Anyway, that'd have been in the newspapers.